Welcome to Pure HFY Stories. My name is Stefan, and I'll be your narrator today. First of all, I ask everyone whether you have subscribed to my channel? If not, then don't worry. Please subscribe to my channel and let's move on to today's story. Let's go. I was fast asleep, half naked, one leg tossed over the side of the bunk like a man who gave up on life somewhere around lunchtime yesterday. The room smelled like burnt circuits and man's sweat. My plasma torque wrench, still warm from earlier repairs, rested conveniently between my legs, handle facing up like a proud little soldier. I didn't think much of it. I never do. Maintenance days get messy, and I had every intention of getting back to it after my nap. Too bad I forgot about the new maid. She entered quietly, like all good maids do. Tall, lavender-skinned, forearms stacked like a cursed mannequin, and eyes that shimmered like radioactive sapphires. Zerla of Zealand Prime. Contract cleaner. Expert in toxic disposal, bed folding, and apparently, sexual misinterpretation. She stepped through the doorway, froze, and locked eyes on the tool in question. Sensors clicked. Her brow creased. She ran a quick scan. The AI on her wrist chirped flatly. Tool detected. Status, fully exposed. Position, between upper thighs. Meaning, courtship invitation, confirmed. Her pupils dilated. One hand clutched her datapad, another went to her waist. A third accidentally slapped her own thigh. She whispered, "He's presenting." I shifted in bed, groaning something about tight screws and deep insertion, in a half-dreamed fantasy about fixing a leaky pressure valve. That was enough for her. She reached into her hip pouch and pulled out a worn emergency protocol, Human Intimacy, Beginner's Guide, Field Edition. The pages were laminated, color-coded, and scandalously illustrated. She flipped to Chapter 1. Interpreting Male Signals. The first image? A human sprawled in bed, tool between legs, grinning. The caption read, "If you see this, congratulations. You're being courted." Zerla swallowed hard. I scratched my chest and muttered, "Ugh, yeah, twist it hard," which, in context, referred to a stubborn bolt from earlier. In her translator's mind? Consent. Affirmation. Verbal readiness for reproductive engagement. She gasped. "Oh stars, he's eager." A second scan confirmed hormonal spikes, elevated temperature, dilated pupils. I was asleep. I was dreaming about wrench fittings. But to her? I was preparing for climax. She did what any rule-abiding, contract-bound Zealand maid would do. She activated her seduction protocol. Step 1. Prepare the room. She dimmed the lights to 12% and lit a gravity-neutral candle that smelled like ozone and regret. Step 2. Remove potential barriers. She peeled off her cleaning apron, dropped her translator headset, and fluffed her head ridges with nervous dignity. Step 3. Initiate bonding gestures. She knelt at the side of the bed and softly tapped my foot. "Honored male," she whispered. "I accept your tool challenge." I farted. She took that as a sign of dominance release. She shivered with admiration. The manual said to start with gentle fondling of preferred equipment. So she reached, respectfully, and cradled the plasma wrench between two gloved fingers like it was a newborn. Her top left hand hovered over the handle. Her lower right gently began to stroke. The wrench buzzed to life, glowing faintly blue. Zerla flinched, then moaned. "Reactive! Fully charged!" She flipped the page. "If the human's tool vibrates in your touch, you are doing well. Continue." I groaned in my sleep again. Tight seal, don't strip the thread," she whimpered. "He wants full penetration." She pulled the safety latch on the wrench. It whirred and clicked. "By the moons, this is advanced level foreplay." Then came the dialogue phase. The manual encouraged flirtation. She leaned in close, her voice a melodic whisper. "Your pheromones make my inner glands pulse. Would you like me to lubricate the shaft now?" I snorted awake. My eyes opened slowly to see a violet face inches from mine, glowing eyes wide with admiration. Her lower hands clutched my wrench. Her upper ones were holding what looked like scented oil and a user manual? What the fuck? I croaked. She gasped, ears wiggling. You're awake! Oh, noble breeder, I feared you would begin climax without me. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? She stood proudly, lifting the manual. According to Section 12 of the Domestic Worker Treaty, I, Zerla of Zealand Prime, hereby submit myself to your mating ritual. I have prepared your tool. I have read the sacred texts. I am ready. I sat up fast, nearly throwing my back out. Lady, I was asleep. That's a wrench. Like, an actual wrench. She frowned. So you no longer wish to mate? I never. Wait, hold on. What do you think I was doing? She flipped the page, showed me an image of a human lying in bed with a wrench between his legs and the text. Step 1. Present your tool. You were presenting. You groaned in consent. You moaned technical commands. The AI confirmed exposure. Your body heat was elevated. You even expelled gas. A known sign of human arousal. Jesus Christ, I muttered, rubbing my temples. She lowered her voice. Have I failed you? I looked down. My wrench was buzzing on the floor. Her hands were shaking slightly, clutching a bottle labeled Synthetic Afro Lube, mango scented. I sighed. Look. This is a misunderstanding. A big one. I was fixing the coolant unit. I fell asleep. I didn't mean to seduce you. Her voice dropped to a sultry tone. But you did accidentally. And in my culture, an accidental seduction still counts. Now I am bound by protocol to either fulfill the ritual or pay a dishonor fee, in tentacle meat. I choked. What now? She stepped forward, determination in her eyes. You already made me fondle your tool. We have passed the point of no return. Unless you'd like to void the contract. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. She gently placed the lube bottle on my nightstand. I have 4 hands, extensive stamina, and a very curious mind, human. If I am wrong, stop me now. She reached for the manual again, thumb to Chapter 4. Mating positions, the adjustable human spine. My AI assistant lit up in the corner. Recording initiated, Human Zealand mating log. Good luck, Jack. I looked at Zerla, then the wrench, then the bottle. This wasn't how I expected my Tuesday to go. But honestly, I didn't hate it. I stared at her. She stared back, holding that damn manual like it was a marriage license and a weapon all in one. Her voice was calm but firm, like she was about to file taxes and bone me in the same motion. Initiating Phase 2. Please assume a stable coupling posture. Wait, I muttered, backing up on the bed. I didn't even finish Phase 1. You moaned. That is considered a climax cue. She blinked slowly. Although, by your species standards, that would be premature. I understand. I have read the troubleshooting section. Oh God. She sat on the edge of the bed, her lower hands reaching into a pouch on her hip and pulling out a small cube. She tapped it. It unfolded into what looked like a miniature massage table, with straps. This is a position stabilizer. You may select from 17 pre-approved angles of intimacy, or suggest your own. I am flexible. I swallowed. Lady, I haven't had coffee yet. I brought a stimulant gel. She pulled out a tube labeled Perculube. The subtitle read, Minty Fresh, Morning Wood Friendly. My brain short-circuited. You're really into this, aren't you? I'm not into this. I am assigned to this. There is a difference. But I am committed to excellence. The guide says passion increases efficiency and reduces awkward pelvic noise. I looked around like someone else might be in the room to stop this. The AI was suspiciously quiet, probably enjoying the show. Zerla opened the manual again. Let's begin with verbal warming. Please insult me gently. Apparently, humans find this erotic. What? Page 42. It says dirty talk is vital. Use suggestive language. Be mean but horny. She leaned in, tilted her head. Say something vile. I want to learn. I cleared my throat, mind blank. You're a naughty dishwasher? She blinked. More. Viler. Call me a wrench slut. I hesitated. You're a naughty little wrench slut. She moaned softly. Oh. You humans are terrifying. Her upper hand started unfastening the straps on her chest wrap. Please proceed to remove my garment. I wished to be exposed, as you were. I was napping, I muttered. And you were stunning. She stood, now mostly undressed. Her skin shimmered like wet velvet under the ship lights, and her anatomy was not entirely incompatible. 2 breasts, 4 arms, hips that made me question my taste in earth women, and a tail that twitched when she caught me staring. I hated how curious I was becoming. She held out the gel. Would you like to apply this to your shaft? Wrench, I corrected. I meant your shaft. Oh. I took the tube. It was warm. She stepped closer, studying my face. You appear conflicted. Are you aroused or frightened? Bit of both. That is acceptable. My previous partner screamed and sobbed for 7 minutes. Very romantic. I blinked. Previous partner? He was an intern. He dropped a scanner and exposed his plasma rod. I assumed it was courtship. He did not resist. I later found out he was allergic to Zealand saliva. Is that a risk? I've since switched to water-based protocol. I am now 92% safe. That's comforting? She lay on the bed beside me, manual in hand, flipping to a page titled, Clitoral Mapping in Humans. She looked confused. You don't have one? Nope. Then where is your main pleasure node? I pointed. She looked. Her face lit up like a kid seeing a shiny new data pad. She lowered herself beside me, stroking my inner thigh like she was trying to polish chrome. Do you require stimulation to stay erect, or is your default state ready for entry? I choked on my own breath. Why do you say that like I'm a retractable flashlight? She paused. That wasn't dirty talk? No. Should I try again? I'm not sure I can survive another one. She turned the page. Foreplay step 4, use your mouth. I held up my hands. Let's just pause, talk this out like normal species. She tilted her head. This is normal. You're the first human I've met who hesitated during a mating contract. Most just roll over and ask if they can film it. I rubbed my face. Yeah, well, I'm not most humans. Her lower hands crept up my sides. I noticed. You have a rugged scent. Like fried wiring and disappointment. It's intoxicating. Gee, thanks. She climbed on top of me. Initiating phase 3. Adjusting gravity for bounce calibration. Suddenly, the room tilted slightly as artificial gravity shifted. My spine pressed against the mattress with a gentle pull. Zerla leaned in, nose to nose. I have entered the hover position. Are you prepared for internal synchronization? I'm not sure I've been prepared for anything since breakfast. She took that as a yes. Her hips met mine like 2 puzzle pieces that weren't designed for each other but kind of worked if you forced it hard enough. She gasped. It fits. Unexpected. But pleasant. I grunted. You're very warm. My blood runs at 122 degrees Fahrenheit during courtship. I'm on fire for you. That's mildly alarming. She began to move slowly, rhythm guided by the manual now projected in midair like a cursed porno tutorial. Step 6, eye contact. Step 7, whisper compliments. You have very functional joints, I managed. You smell like old paint and protein bars. It is exquisite. We stared at each other. This was happening. I had no idea if I was about to climax or file a formal complaint with Space HR. She gasped, her fingers squeezing mine. You're tighter than expected. I may need reinforcement. Her tail wrapped around my ankle like it was staking a claim. Then her translator glitched. Proceeding to explosive phase, detonation imminent, lubricate the cockpit, prepare for soft tissue overflow. I panicked. She kept going. And then suddenly, she moaned. Loud. Horribly, beautifully, aggressively. The AI chimed in. Recording complete. Human Zealand synchronization, success. I lay there panting. She collapsed beside me, panting through gills that flared along her neck. Her limbs tangled with mine like we were part of a badly tied balloon sculpture. I may have misread some steps, she admitted. You think? But was it satisfactory? I looked at her. At the manual, now steaming slightly. At my very violated wrench. I nodded slowly. Honestly? I've had worse. She smiled. Tomorrow, we do phase 4. Bonding. Oh boy. I woke up half covered in tentacle blankets, my back slick with some kind of postcoital gel, and the faint smell of mango still clinging to the sheets like shame. Zerla was perched beside me, cross-legged, fully alert, reviewing notes from the manual with the seriousness of a bomb defusal expert. Her eyes darted from the page to me, to my crotch, then back to the page. You remained unconscious for 11 minutes. That exceeds the average post-mating recovery window by 300%. Is this a health concern or a sign of inferior stamina? I groaned. It's a sign of human men doing too much with too little hydration. Give me 5. She nodded like she understood but offered me a protein bar shaped like a tiny penis. Zealand recovery snack. It contains 16 energy compounds and trace amounts of aphrodisiac spores. I stared at it. That's a sex granola bar. It's traditional. I'm not eating space Viagra disguised as trail mix. Cowardice is not attractive, Jack. I bit the bar just to shut her up. It tasted like fermented fruit and static electricity. She tapped her tablet. According to the follow-up protocol, we must now proceed to the bonding phase. This includes oral confessions of affection, light neck biting, and legally filing a Form 98C. A what? Maid declaration contract. We're now considered pending permanent partners unless otherwise dissolved within 24 galactic hours. I sat up like someone had dumped coolant down my pants. We had sex one time and now I'm on the intergalactic marriage registry? She smiled. Efficiency is sexy. This is insanity. This is protocol. I turned toward the AI. Cancel whatever registration she filed. Delete logs. Destroy black box data. The AI responded smugly. Request denied. Data has already been archived and transmitted to the Galactic Council's Romance Compliance Division. I slapped my forehead. You mean there's a government office that monitors interspecies hookups? Affirmative, said the AI. You are currently ranked 14th most viewed human on Alien session this cycle. Zerla beamed. Top 15? My mother will be so proud. I couldn't even argue. I was naked, sticky, and emotionally exhausted. She looked like she just got promoted. She reached out and patted my thigh like I was a prize-winning pig. You've performed adequately. But now comes the real challenge, maintaining affection. I muttered. I barely maintain rent. She swiped to a new page. We must now engage in activities humans associate with emotional closeness. These include compliments, awkward breakfast conversations, and coordinated bathing. Zerla, I'm not dating you. I'm not marrying you. This was one horny misunderstanding. Her eyes narrowed. You presented your tool. I was asleep. You moan instructions. I talk in my sleep. You release pheromones. I farted, Zerla. She crossed her arms, all 4 of them. Then why did you not resist? Why did you moan when I whispered, your engine's running hot, big boy? I stared at the ceiling. Because I was halfway through a dream where I was tuning a hoverbike in a leather apron while eating a cheeseburger. Everything was turning me on. She softened. So, you did enjoy it? That's not the point. It's my point. You reacted positively. Therefore, I fulfilled my role. You now owe me the courtesy of a second round or an official rejection statement. You want paperwork for turning you down? I want closure. Or penetration. Either is acceptable. My jaw dropped. How do your people function in relationships? We don't. We just get really good at pretending not to have feelings until we explode in mating dances or nervous breakdowns. I blinked. That's actually kind of relatable. She nodded. I thought so. There was a long silence. She looked at me. I looked at her. Somewhere in the corner, the AI was probably streaming our facial expressions to a bored alien judge. She spoke first. You're not terrible company. You're surprisingly warm-blooded for a four-armed biocleaner. We have 6 hearts. It's hard to stay cold. I smirked. You know you almost suffocated me during round 2, right? I thought the choking noises were excitement. I couldn't breathe. I'll reduce tentacle pressure next time. There shouldn't be a next time. She tilted her head. Then why are you still naked, sharing breakfast, and arguing like we've been together for a year? I grabbed a blanket. Because I haven't figured out how to run away from a woman who files legal forms faster than I can put on pants. She placed a hand on my knee. You could just admit you liked me. I looked down at the protein bar, now half-eaten, and the wet manual on the floor with a bookmarked chapter titled Spoon After You Fork, Post-Mating Cuddling Explained. I sighed. Okay. I didn't hate it. That's a compliment. You're insane. That's attraction. You're turning me on again. That's the spores. Damn it. She leaned forward and kissed my forehead, which I was sure wasn't even the right target in her culture. I'll go warm the oils. Please stretch this time. I nearly dislocated your hip. I collapsed back on the bed. This is a hostage situation disguised as intimacy. Then blink twice if you want more. I didn't blink. She smiled and stood up. I'll take that as consent. I looked up at the AI. Any chance you can wipe the footage before Space YouTube gets it? Too late. Your performance is trending on 3 pleasure planets. I pulled the blanket over my head. Tell them I was drugged. I will include a disclaimer. May contain accidental arousal and light mango play. Zerla walked out humming what sounded like an alien love ballad composed entirely of clicks and throat sounds. I wasn't sure if I'd been seduced, manipulated, blackmailed, or emotionally adopted. I just knew one thing. If she brought the manual back for round 3, I wasn't going to stop her. I opened my eyes to the smell of fried tentacle bacon and the familiar hum of the orbital station's engine running too hot. Zerla had somehow programmed the coffee dispenser to brew something resembling espresso but spiked with a Zealand root extract that made my left nipple tingle. She called it bonding juice. I called it regret with foam. She floated over to me, wearing a new apron that said, Certified Breeder's Companion, in glittery alien script. Her lower hands were carrying breakfast. Her upper ones were already on my shoulders. I hope your thighs have recovered. Today is paperwork day. I spit out half the coffee. Please don't say paperwork day like it's foreplay. She smiled. Everything is foreplay if you file it correctly. She dropped a stack of documents on my lap, all neatly labeled. Mating confirmation, verified, residence co-ownership agreement, space health benefits application, and something called Tentacle Tax Form B. I flipped through them. You filed for joint citizenship? I also enrolled us in the Intergalactic Spouse Exchange Program. That's not real. It is. We get free coupons and a chance to win a 2-headed massage spot. I pointed at one form. What's this one? Request to bind our reproductive rights into a shared energy account. It's very romantic. I looked up at her. You just wanted to do laundry and now we're married. You initiated. I was holding a wrench. You groaned. In my sleep. You had a visible reaction. I had a dream about a power drill. You said the phrase strip my bolt. That's an engineering term. And yet you climaxed during the phrase turn it tighter, baby. I stared at her. She stared back. The AI chimed in, uninvited. My logs confirm verbal consent, mechanical arousal, and post-coital bonding rituals complete. Zerla kissed my cheek. See? Certified. I shoved the paperwork aside and stood. We need to slow down. Like normal pace slow. Earth slow. Buy a plant before you propose slow. She looked confused. Do Earth males not pursue lifelong bonds after a successful penetration ceremony? Not unless we're drunk or getting tax benefits. Then I'll apply for drunk tax benefits. I've read the guide. I sat on the edge of the bed, head in hands. Zerla. You're great. You're strange and hot and way too organized. But I'm not ready to be a husband just because I fell asleep with a wrench on my crotch. Her tone dropped. You're rejecting me? I'm suggesting we pump the brakes before we end up with a joint checking account and 12 half-human babies with weird elbows. She crossed her arms. But we connected. We laughed. We shared fluids. And I appreciate the trauma. She turned away, tail twitching like a pissed-off cat. Fine. If I'm not wanted, I will reassign myself. I will clean the quarters of someone who wants my touch. The AI spoke again. Alert, divorce initiated. Emotional tension level, medium high. Background music suggestion, lonely in the gravity field. I sighed. Don't play sad music. The speakers dropped a slow alien saxophone riff anyway. Zerla stood at the door. I will remove my belongings. You've been here for 3 days. What belongings? She held up a duffel the size of a shoebox. My lube collection and a backup manual. I stood. Look. This got weird fast. That's not your fault. But maybe we try being friends before we bind our energy signatures, yeah? She blinked. Is that a pre-mating ritual? No. That's just what people do when they want to see if they even like each other outside of mango-flavored chaos. She hesitated. But I liked you inside mango-flavored chaos. I walked up to her, lowered my voice. Then let's find out if we like each other without chaos. Coffee. Conversation. You know, Earth stuff. She stared at me. Then at the bed. Then at the wrench still glowing faintly under the sheets. Her voice dropped. If we become friends, do I have to stop using the manual? Please. Burn the manual. She reached into her apron, pulled it out, and ignited it with a plasma spark. Wow. That was dramatic. Zealand women do not do things halfway. The AI cut in again. Emotional resolution detected. Hormonal stability returning. Suggesting playlist, friends with benefits and boundaries. Zerla smiled softly. So we are not partners. But we are exploring. Yes. Exploring. With pants on. Pants optional on weekends? I shrugged. We'll negotiate. She turned toward the kitchen. I'll make you something Earth-style. Toast, yes? I swear if it's shaped like genitals, I'm leaving. She winked. No promises. As she walked away, hips swaying like she knew I was watching, I let out a slow breath and collapsed onto the bed. The AI chimed once more. Would you like to clear mating history or archive for personal review? Archive, I muttered. But lock it behind a 12-digit password and 3 firewalls. Confirmed. Also, congratulations. You may have accidentally formed the first healthy human-Zealand cohabitation. I think I just survived a one-night stand with legal consequences. Statistically, you're ahead of most Earth marriages. I rolled onto my side. The wrench was still there, humming faintly, a reminder of everything that led to this unholy spiral. I stared at it. You started this. The wrench didn't reply. But I could swear it pulsed smugly. Zerla called from the kitchen. Do humans enjoy breakfast in bed? Depends. I added whipped cream to the bacon. That's not breakfast. That's foreplay. She peeked her head around the corner. Then I'll bring the lube too. I smirked. No tools this time. She raised an eyebrow. Then I'll just bring me. I had a moment to reflect on how wildly off course my week had gone. I had boarded this station with a toolbox, a hangover, and zero expectations. I was now halfway married to a four-armed alien with a manual fetish and government paperwork filed in 3 systems. And somehow, I wasn't mad about it. She stepped back into the room, tray in hand, covered in steam and suggestive smells. I pulled the blanket over my lap and said the only logical thing left. Next time I sleep with my tool out, I'm locking the damn door. She grinned. Next time, I'll knock first.